29th of April. This is the Queen Bee guided by her star or staff. It's a star, 5-star. So she's following her compass. Definitely royal, her way royal, not the royals in our earth. He's in a crown. It's a royal antenna. Not only is she moving into motion, she's moving up. So this was a positive message. 1st of May, this one was connected to the last one, insect type being as well, facing the other way, and it felt like it was more like a knight or a worker ant or a warrior, has the wings coming down at the back. I felt like these two were from the same team. The 9th of May.
Oh my gosh, what's that? I know, it surprised me because I don't stop and look at the images. As I said, I just keep moving on. Now that I'm looking at one image for a while, and then the next one comes up, and it's like, well, I didn't expect that.
But it becomes a story, right? Like an eternal story. New worlds. This is new ways. This is new ideas. A lot of them are starting to get their own orbit happening in a clear sense. They haven't got their orbit spinning in a circular yet. You can see the clean lines around them. See how it's busy at the top still?
Bringing in the intel from above and grounding it within and settling it out.
And that's where that gumboot picture comes in.
I love it. When you say boot, it's like, well, yeah, that's an obvious boot.
You're seeing it differently. That's how these images can be used over many moments, because it depends on who you are when you're looking at it. The next day you look at it, it might evolve to a higher version for you. Yeah. You're the artist saying this now. You're actually saying exactly what I'm saying about your drawings, how you're seeing this in a different light, but you drew it.
I'm just the drawer.
You're allowing. 6th of June. So see how small the head is on that one?
Oh, wait.
So that one we're looking at.
Yeah.
It looks like hands and a small head and then two like pigtails. Then you go to the 6th of June. This is what happened.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God.
See how the pigtails shrunk? A head balloon. It's literally too much at the moment for a lot
really.
of people.
It's like...
Yeah. You can see the eye has shifted to the top, and then there's an eye in the middle, and there's like so many eyes going on through the whole being, taking in too much information. It swelled the head up and the pigtails shrunk. I've had way too much spaghetti.
Yeah, really. I'm spaghetti brain. Yeah, in a way I found that with myself. It's like, if there's something I want to listen to, like you and Pamela, in fragments, in sections, maybe too much to process it. Or
when you're having two beings come together and share for that longer time, they're prepared, their ions are prepared for each other, but the viewer isn't. When I go back and edit, they knock me out. Rehearing my voice and hearing someone else's voice. It's like that last one, from the sun to the sun. That one, I had to go quiet for a while. So I was this drawing. My pigtails had shrunk. I had to go somewhere and deflate for a while.
Yeah, really. They're drooping down too. And
they're droopy.
The ends are a little spindly,
Yeah. 12th of June, which came back into a royal type energy, is holding a tool or an arm. And it's like, what's the point? Got all this stuff. I've got all these eyes in me. What's the point? This date is a very special date for us. I've reflected back on my life at this date, and then I started to realize this date, what's happening in the universe is affecting me. So I realized the point isn't me. It's not about Elsa. It's not about the story of Elsa. I'm just in my senses, and that's the point.
The mind letting go, stop questioning and just allow, just be.
Part of you is separate, wanting to rejoin again.
Maybe overthink, and that creates a separation, and then that maybe creates anxiety.
And you're not grounded. You're just going, what's the point? The kids are all waking up. It's 6 a.m. now.
Oh, wow.
So everyone's they're early risers.
It's dawn. Yeah, I wake up early too. I got that for 2 years straight. I was mucking for my daughter and turning out the horses in morning and
yeah.
night. So that got me into I guess the farm schedule, and I've been waking up early ever since. So that's okay though. That's great.
We started waking up early when the internet started. So
for connecting
with the magazines and things overseas. It was 99 when the internet started to really take off in Australia. So
because you had to connect to people around the world. Right?
Yeah, so we got up. We were up at 1 or 2, but we had kids. We had babies then, so we would go to bed really early too with them, which would settle them. So we'd go to bed when the sun went to bed, and then so we got into that. So waking up isn't a big deal because that's how we would communicate with the UK or America. People are just being kind. They don't want you to wake up, but it's like it's okay. It's actually easier. We don't have schedules. Sometimes we have to make appointments for interviews, and like today we have to set aside, but most of the time we just follow how the day turns out. It's so that we can cook what's required of the farms, required of the kids, so we don't actually have any structure. Structure I have, because for us to actually meet, we have to have a structure, but that's as structured as we get.
So same with me. I paint during the week, house it interior, exterior. And so there's a schedule with that. Those jobs vary. Usually on the morning with the wake up juice, I take a napkin, which is probably the best thing to write on because it's impermanent. It's not set in stone. It's set on a napkin.
The pod.
Yeah. Was that correct?
No. Wow. Look at that. I mean, seriously. No, it wasn't that one. It was more like a pod it looks like an oval or an eye shape.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. And it's horizontal, isn't it?
I'm so impressed that you remember them all.
Oh, yeah. I
like your friends.
Oh, my friends. Yeah. I have a sense that they're beings or energy signatures.
Looks like almost like a cuttlefish or
oh yeah
at the top, possibly where a blowhole would be. See how there's a little explosion above the eye? The energy of it feels to the right, and
oh, now I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Fish has come up a lot in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Fish relates to a lot of religious contexts. This was probably a prelude to now.
I don't know if it was one of your blogs, one of your visits, but you were talking about scales and the definitions.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
So then you go to the next one. Okay, how does it go from the fish to this? So this is where beings looking at how we're going again. And I felt like seeing how our bodies were coping with it all. Again, we're in a rattled state, but that's okay. Going through the washing machine cycle or the dishwasher, and you have the nice water coming in at the beginning, then the bubbles start, and then the real agitation. And then you have the rinse, and then you have the dry off, and then they have the quiet moment at the end where you're like in a sauna.
They bring in the information through the eyes or the antenna. Then they're absorbing it and they're processing it.
It gets messy because
it can be easy to take.
We believe a lot of it in the digestion, literally. I loved how this one at the end looks like it's pooping. And it's only a little poop. There's a lot more in the intestines to get rid of. So
yeah. Maybe it's constipated. I don't know.
Yeah.
Too much.
With the last ones that you drew, you saw the head swell, the big task.
Yeah, really.
Well, this is the after effect.
You feel like saying, well, hey, you bought into this,
now you got to digest it. Coming back to these drawings, you can see the playfulness of it. It takes the heat off your day. All those worries. Everyone's going through this on Earth at the moment. Not just me, trees, it's the dogs, it's the cats. Everyone's going through this. It takes the heat off you, and it gives you peace.
Grounding, releasing.
I love the fact that we've had this pause cycle.
Swear to God, when I come home,
because Bob and I did this recording before, and I lost it all in my hard drive, and it gave me moments to re-look at what I had done with Bob and realise that there was more to it than even I first saw as well.
You pull me close, guiding me home, and I need you to know that we're far
help inspire others to understand what their drawings mean. And their drawings are drawings that don't mean anything to them either, but they've allowed them, and they will help assist others to come back into their feelings. And this is so tricky for humans because it's make-believe. It's not anything that we've practiced really before. It's a new way of discovering information because it's allowing to fill it in, the power of whoever's observing, which is the first words that I met with Bob.
It's a big word, allowing. I mean, it encompasses so much. As kids, we allowed. When we played, we allowed all the, we can instantaneously be any character or evolve a situation through our imagination. It wasn't that we had to think or develop it. We just were. We allowed it.
It was within us.
It was innate. It is. Part of this, bringing it back. Just remind me, it's okay. Just allow. Just rip. Improvise.
They thought the world was ending because they couldn't remote view or see past this stage, not in any religion, not in many spiritual forms either, or in psychics as well. They couldn't see past this point because of what we're talking about now, to a programmed mind that would literally be the end of the world.
Oh, right.
And that's why these drawings will help assist and support ones who are in that scared zone.
What you've been relied on, you've counted on, all of a sudden there's a blank in a void that you've never experienced.
Well, you think also the ones that are pulling the reins. I don't know who's who anymore.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
don't.
I know.
But
yeah.
if you are running the show and then you have no show, where does the show start? We have noticed with the information that the children have drawn, or the information we've had from craft or happenings, is that we actually are seeing the beauty of the Magi ones in others. We really do. We really see it in others. It's exciting. That feeling that I get from art brings me hope and brings me excitement for our children. And it was scary because I was that program. Where is it going? It's not looking so good.
The controllers, they had a playbook that had worked forever. They had the playbook. They had looking glass that could look into the future. They could refine the probability and then make plans, use the creative energy of the populace, bring about their plans. That's how they created it. It wasn't from their creative. So when you don't have that, you got constipation there.
You have codes that aren't formulated. You have colonization that isn't structured and that unfamiliar. It might make your body feel a different way or make others around you feel a different way than you've ever felt before. In saying all this, it doesn't really matter because it's going to happen anyway. So you better get used to it. Allow it. Be like that eye drawing and allow that going to a point. Just allow it because it's coming anyway. We've been feeling it for many years coming. We had no idea how it was going to come. We knew something was coming like this. You can see everything falling apart. It's crazy. The kids will say something off the news or something they've heard and Richard tells me, and absolutely ridiculous. And it just makes this more believable. It's like that seesaw drawing, and the seesaw's going like this now. And it'll go like that again, but it's going like this at the moment.
Thing is, the more ridiculous, I cheer it on.
Bob, can I see your face? I want to see your face.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so used to being represented by the drawings. The more ridiculous, the better. People will say it opens people up. So the more ridiculous, the better. Well, that's just silly. That's great because that's the point we want to get to. Let's find the real.
This last few weeks, since the 25th of June, some things have happened through the day, or some craft and things like that. And I haven't said anything, and the family members have all said something to me. And they go, that means something, right? And I'm like, no, like I'm like downplaying it. And they're like, are you messing with me? Because for a long time, I probably irritated many, agitated a lot of people just by being me, confront a lot of things for people. Maybe she's not so crazy. The seesaw's evening out. It's finding its level best. Yeah.
Like the level you use in construction. That bubble centering in the middle more now.
Most of the crop circles are done on extremely level ground. The term level best is our balanced spleen, the yin and the yang. Level has the word Eve in it. Heaven within us, the balance within us is heaven.
I remember back to Pamela, you were talked a lot about that. You've got the 1-1. You've got the brackets of 1, of 11.
We're in the 7-7-7 phase at the moment. Till the 25th of July is the 7-7 phase.
That's
from
another
the 7th,
7th
of July to the 25th of July.
And 16th was another one.
7-7-7 is being, which is 1-1 again. This phase has really made us look at the reflection of us and realize that there actually is a witness in there. I had a dream. It was probably half an hour before I came on with you. And it was of our first house with Richard and I together. Number is 11. And I said, that was weird that I just had this dream. And I just realized then, as soon as you said 1-1.
I've seen it through the years a lot, 555, and I've seen it many times written on a check, which was from the painting work I did. So the check is due to a certain number of hours. So it's something that's totally out of my control, really. Appreciate the validation. And I find whenever I start seeing a bit of doubt creeping in, I see a 4 or 444.
So you're talking about numbers presenting that you can't control. 444, we had where we would take our bins at our previous house was a big green bin.
Yeah.
Not ours, it was from other neighbours, because it was like so it was on a crossroads of 4. On the bin, someone had written in white font 444 being. Why would they write that? That day I found the bin was the same time I met Soulology.
Oh, wow.
And the Lismore flood. 444 is related to 1, so being, so 1. 444 is right path. So when I saw that bin and I had a few people text me and I got 444 and like you said, you could be looking at it, but I can't make the bin up. I knew that was the right path. I met a few other people in Australia. They gave me a few codes and connected me to a galaxy, which was connected to 1444, which is connected to something in the Bible, which is 1444, which is Medina. The 18th of July is 444 day, being right path day, being. So it's a big day, the 18th of July. The days after that, we have down a splintered day. So I don't know, I feel like that's just going to be a really rejoicing, powerful few days.
And what date is that again?
I think it goes for, so the 18th of July and then another 4 days.
Oh, wow.
After that. So it,
oh, nice.
It's not. It's a nice feeling. We know that rains are coming. We haven't had rain for a long time, and I knew that the rains were coming for those days. Well, I've actually had to let go of the garden.
I know exactly what you mean because I watch for the rain. And
yesterday I was able to water for the first time because we got 2 water tanks. Prior to that, I had to let go. So I would see a lot of things wilt and it was, I had to allow it to happen because we just couldn't water. And it's sad. There's a lot of,
it is,
not only am I sad for all the hours that we've done, but I'm emotionally attached to the plants as well. I hear them. And when I water after it hasn't been watered for a long time, the smell that comes from the plants is exhilarating and excitement. And I can't do anything else but smile. And Richard said, don't you worry. A lot of them will come back. You know about those frogs that have no water for years and years and they come back to life. So don't worry. Because you do. You go through the fear and the worry.
Oh, believe me. I've done that for years. Getting eaten, I've learned to keep planting, and I don't know, I think it's with the changes too. I don't have that same reaction, not that I'm hardened, but accepting.
Beginning of the year with the comet, learning about another version of ourselves, a plasma being, and that we're eternal beings and there's no such thing as death. Now, when in the garden, I asked our Dalmatian dog before she passed, I said, how am I going to communicate with you now you're gone? And these little fairy wrens would present, and they come to me now all the time and talk to me in the garden. And whenever I was feeling a little bit sad looking at the plant, they come and they swirl and twirl around me. They give me hope, and they remind me of things like your drawings. And it's okay, and we are eternal, and we do come back. And I can guarantee you today I will go out in the garden, and a lot of the things that I thought had gone or passed on in the plants have come back or got new shoots.
Yeah, and see, that's always the miracle. Even if you see one little leaf starting up, it's like, oh, it's still there.
So, Bob, your drawings are like that. I hope that this little connection that we've had together and sharing it out with the audience will show others new rays of buds, new green in the darkness. They'll be able to find themselves in a different way rather than in the numbers and letters and old ways. They can find their senses through other forms, including drawings. I wanted to say thank you for being you, for being Bob.
Oh, thank you
so much for sharing these drawings with me.
It's my pleasure.
You know how people get like readings through? I'm like, where's Bob's picture? I got to look for a Bob picture. And if I haven't had one for a while, it must mean I have to go back.
I need my drawing juice instead of my wake up.
Bob and I call coffee wake up juice. By the way, we worked out that it's our wake up juice.
And the honey
It has to have the honey, coffee and honey.
It was funny. I astounded you that I put 2 spoons of honey in the 16 ounce.
Yeah.
And then I take a spoonful in my mouth.
Well, I've told many people that what you said to me, you said that you can live on a spoonful of honey. And I've told people this, and it's made them re-look at their diet by you just sharing those simple words with me, by you saying about the honey, the teaspoon of honey, which we've shared with others. They've gone, what do you mean you could live on honey? I said, well, a lot of people also believe you can live on air. I've seen a couple that gave birth to a baby, and she was breastfeeding on air. And they were like, that's impossible. And I said, well, you're saying it's impossible, but she's telling us another experience. So it is possible.
Or you could say to the person, well, you're right. It is impossible if you think so.
But so is the bee.
The bee flying is impossible aerodynamically.
The impossible is possible, coming back to our senses. And that's what these drawings do. They trigger our senses. Yeah, they're really beautiful. They're so unusual.
Well, I look at them and say, when I flip through, it's almost like who drew them? And I'm not trying to I don't think about it when I'm doing it. Talking about we can be the watcher. Like if you can get into that ultimate in creativity where you can be in the flow, and then when you can observe it and just be in wonder about it, and you don't have to know, you just flow, and it's fun.
Because you are in the allow, and you just know that you go to the coffee shop, so you're in this zone, the allowing zone, and it doesn't matter how much distraction there is, you're not taken out of the zone. So you're like, hear Yoda say, you're the force, be the force, Luke. You are the force. You are in the zone. You're at that point. You're allowing anything with all the distractions. That's what it's been like for us. It's extremely noisy. Well, every individual in the house has something going on. And then you have all the farm animals. And then you have all the ones that escape or...
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Then you have the wildlife and the neighbors and, everything going on. And there's so many distractions, but I still stay on point because I've had so much practice. Yeah, and that's what you've had by going to the cafe. It's a daily practice. And once you get to that point... practice it daily, you'll find the point quicker and quicker, and then you won't even need to get to the point. You're just there. Yeah,
that's very true. Once that sheet I open to the next blank page, I'm there, pen to paper.
The point. I always love, there's always one cute point to the point, and I love that the first words of my connection with you was power of observation. Thank you so much.
Same to you. Thank you for all of this. I mean, I'm in wonder.